The anime starts with a king named Inglis of the Silver Kingdom lying on his deathbed. He is surrounded by his loved ones and officials. Just before he ascends to the afterlife, goddess Alastia visits him. After all the great things Inglis has done for his people, Alastia offers him to wish for anything he desires. Inglis wishes that he wants to be reborn, but this time he wants to live for himself rather than for others. Where he can fall in love with his sword again and master it. The goddess grants his wish. In another world, as the king is reborn, he is welcomed by his new parents, Serena and Luke. Just like in his previous life, this time he is also named Inglis. However, instead of being born as a boy, Inglis is born as a girl. This was very shocking to him. Inglis is blessed by Alastia to be able to manipulate ether, unlike other people in this world. Everything in this world is composed of ether. So the one who can control ether can control anything in existence. As Inglis tries to manipulate ether, Serena sees her floating. She is shocked but believes that she is just mistaken. Serena takes Inglis to a safer place, as a magicite beast is on a rampage. Hearing that this monster is strong, Inglis is already excited and wants to fight it. Serena's older sister Irina takes both of them to her place. There Inglis meets her 8-year-old cousin, Raphael. And Rafina, who is the same age as her. From there as she sees the magicite beast through the window, Inglis is itching to fight it. As they were talking, suddenly a magicite beast breaks into their home. Irina holding Rafina is thrown away by the impact. Serena hands Inglis and Rafina to Raphael. She told him to take them and escape. She went on to fight the magicite beast. Raphael puts Inglis and Rafina behind chairs and went on to help Serena. Because even after receiving his rune it will be pathetic if he left her aunt with the magicite beast. But unfortunately, both of them are taken down by the magicite beast. Seeing everyone is unconscious, Inglis comes in front of the magicite beast. Before the beast does anything, Inglis uses Ether Strike. The power of Ether Strike was so immense that with just one strike the magicite beast is vaporized. Soon she went unconscious as she gets tired from using it. 5 years have passed since then. Inglis and Rafina are witnessing Raphael's swordsmanship against the knights. We got to know that Raphael is the second strongest swordsman, with Luke who is the captain of the knights being the strongest. Rambach a merchant visits and introduces his son Rahl to Luke. They have come here to have a spare with the knights. With ease, Rahl defeats the knights. And pity them for being so weak. Inglis notices, Rahl is cheating. He is using magic against the knights to slow them down. Magic is like a sub-compound of ether. Since the sense of magic in this world is very rare, the knights along with Luke weren't able to detect anything. The next person to fight Rahl is Raphael. Before he gets into the combat, Inglis tells him to not look into Rahl's eyes. And without revealing the real reason, tells him that he is using some kind of trick. Raphael agrees and went to fight him. At first, he was being dominant, but due to a mistake, he loses the fight. To keep the dignity of the knights and her father, Inglis steps up and challenges Rahl to a duel. Rahl laughs and told her to play with her dolls. Inglis whispers to him that she knows what he is up to. And if he doesn't accept the duel she'll tell everyone. Rahl gets angry and accepts her challenge. Luke tells her daughter to not be reckless and withdraw from the fight. Inglis blackmails Luke that if he didn't let her fight she'll tell mother that he bought a new vase without telling her. After hearing this, Luke happily let her go. As they prepare to fight, Rahl uses his magic to slow down Inglis. But with the ability to manipulate ether, she disperses the magic easily. With this, Raphael wasn't able to land a single hit on her. Inglis with her eyes closed easily defeats him. Luke, being a proud father, is delighted that a prodigy has been born into the family. After a year, at 6 years old, both Inglis and Rafina come to the church to receive their runes. Runes are a mark that a person receives to become a knight and possess an artifact. Runes are classified into special, high, middle, and low classes. Higher the class, higher level of artifacts the person can possess. First to get rune is Rafina. She receives a high-class rune. Everyone was happy. Next is Inglis. Everyone has very high expectations from her and believes that she'll receive a special class rune. But in reality, Inglis doesn't want it. Because if the class is higher she'll be bound to the castle and will lose her freedom. Which she doesn't want in this life. Inglis puts her hand inside the box and takes it out. Everyone was shocked because Inglis didn't receive any class of rune. Everyone was shocked and wondered how is this even possible. Since the rune is based on the magic an individual possess. Inglis cut off the flow of her magic using her ability to manipulate ether and hence receives nothing. Now she is not inclined to work as a knight and can master her sword without any restrictions. 6 years later, Everyone is running back to their homes as prism flow is happening. Prism flow is like rain but with the ability to transform any living being except humans into a magicite beast. Out of many magicite beasts, very few become prismer. These magicite beasts are also known as the King of Rainbow due to their unreal power to destroy a whole nation. Inglis, who is 12 years old, after knowing about the prismer, is very excited and wants to fight them as soon as possible. As the rain clears up, Inglis and Rafina witness Highland. Highland is a place where Highlanders live. Here artifacts in the box that determines an individual's rune are being created. The Highlanders trade these from lowlanders in return for money and food. At night they both get ready for the banquet. Tonight a Highlander will come to inspect the lowland. Rafina's father introduces them to Lord Shani and Raphael's friend Leon. Leon, just like Raphael, is a holy knight. Leon tells them that unfortunately, Raphael will not attend the banquet because he is busy completing important missions. Soon a very unexpected guest appears. It's Rahl. He is now the ambassador of Highlander. Inglis is shocked to see him and asks how a lowlander like him becomes a Highlander. Rahl replies that by paying enough money to Highlanders he has attained the level of a Highlander. Staring lustfully at Inglis, he tells her, "You have grown quite well, Inglis. It would be nice to have another spare with you." Leon breaks up their conversation and tells Inglis and Rafina that there is someone he wants them to meet. He took them outside, and introduced them to Iris, a Hyrule menace who is even stronger than holy knights. As Leon introduces them to Iris, out of nowhere she slaps him and tells him, "You fool. Stop it." And she leaves. Both Inglis and Rafina were in shock at what just happened. Suddenly a scream came from inside. When they went inside they witnessed Lord Shani's burned body lying on the floor. It's Rahl who burned him after Shani stopped him from harassing a girl. Rahl threatens Duke Bilford, "Just tell others that he died from an illness. And if you say otherwise, you know what will happen." Now, as a punishment for disrespecting a Highlander, Rahl tells the girl from earlier to come to his place and be his entertainment for the night. Inglis steps in and tells Rahl that instead of the girl, take her instead. Because it's actually her that Rahl wants to take revenge on. Rahl happily agrees and tells her to come alone to the villa he is staying. As Rahl leaves, he tells himself that he'll make sure to make her kneel perfectly. Inglis, as promised, goes to his villa, but has an encounter with Iris. She tells Inglis to go back to her home as her life will be in danger. Inglis refuses to go back. As a result, Iris gets frustrated and tells her that she'll attack her. Inglis gets excited after hearing this. Keeping in mind that Inglis is runeless, Iris tries to limit her power. But as the fight goes on she realizes that Inglis is not any weak runeless girl, she possesses enough power to defend her. So, Iris stops attacking and tells Inglis that she can go inside the villa because she can defend herself. But suddenly from nowhere Iris is hit by a lightning attack. She knows it's Leon and tells him to show himself. Leon has come here to kill Rahl. After what he has done to Lord Shani, he wants to kill Highlanders. He tells them about an anti-Highland guerrilla organization, Steelblood Front, that kills Highlanders and brings their technology to lower land. This way lowlanders do not have to rely on them for their survival. Iris asks whether he decides to betray us. Because as a Hyrule menace and holy knights, it's their duty to guard Highlanders. Leon replies, "Well, kind of. And this is why he attacked her." Realizing how strong Leon is, Inglis sides with Iris just so she can fight him. Leon brings out his lightning beasts and attacks them. Iris tells Inglis to be aware of the lightning beast as they explodes after being destroyed. Inglis just covers herself in ether and goes on to destroy them with her punches. Both Iris and Leon couldn't believe what they were seeing. Suddenly, Rafina jumps out from the window with a magicite beast following her. As Rafina was about to get hit by the magicite beast, Inglis runs as fast as can to save her. She asks why she is here. Rafina is here so that she can protect Inglis from Rahl. And when she went upstairs to check, there was Rahl who suddenly transformed into that magicite beast. Inglis was shocked. Thinking, how is this even possible? Leon tells them it was he who gave him the dose of prism powder. This powder he received after he joined Steelblood Front. And after transforming into one, there's no way to turn him back. And soon after his explanation, Leon left. Soon Rafina's father with holy knights arrives there. They were too surprised to see Rahl in this condition. If Inglis fights Rahl here, it will destroy the city as well. So she took Iris with her and kicked Rahl to a much farther place. Everyone was surprised that they both managed to kick Rahl so far. Inglis tells them that it was all Iris's strength. Iris told her that no way she has this kind of strength. Inglis covers her mouth and tells her to just play along. Then they went to the place where Rahl is. She asks Iris whether this is a prismer. Iris replies no, it's like a baby in comparison to a prismer. Inglis concluded that if she can't destroy this beast in one punch, she can't fight a prismer. She goes in front of Rahl and uses Ether Strike. With just one hit she vaporizes Rahl. As it requires too much of her strength, she gets tired. The next day, as Iris prepares to submit the report on yesterday's incident, Inglis requests her to say that it was Iris who defeated Rahl. Iris agrees. Before she leaves, Inglis asks why did she slap Leon when they first met each other in the garden. Iris replies that it is something they both will eventually find out, but she hopes they don't. And she left. After 3 years, at the age of 15, both Rafina and Inglis decide to enroll in the Knights Academy in the royal capital of Chiral. Since Inglis is runeless, she can only be the squire of Rafina. As they arrive in the city of Nova, they are told by the restaurant owner about the mission being given to knights. But before it, they have to pass the test. They both easily passes the test and later went to have a bath. There they meet Cyrene, who is a Highlander and the owner of Nova. Inglis feels that since arriving in this city her magic is little by little sucked through the ground. She asks Cyrene about it, but unfortunately, she doesn't know the reason. Cyrene tells them about the mission. Some former knights are causing trouble to the citizens. So before things get out of her hand, she wants to get rid of them. The next day, with other recruited knights, they went to the place where the former knights are currently residing. We are introduced to Hawker, who is the leader and a former captain of knights. As they get surrounded by multiple former knights, Rafina uses her bow to attack them. But her attack is neutralized by a woman. After sensing her strength, Inglis suspects that the woman is a Hyrule menace just like Iris. As the fight between recruited knights and former knights begins, Inglis challenges the Hyrule menace, while Rafina and others fight the rest of the former knights. The Hyrule menace's name is Sistia Rouge. Sistia is not willing to fight Inglis, because she is runeless. So to prove her capabilities, Inglis converts ether into mana. To witness such a huge amount of mana, Sistia is surprised. Now she is ready to fight her, but before they begin she tells Inglis to draw her sword. Since her sword is fragile, Inglis refuses to do so, and assures Sistia that her hands would be enough. Sistia rapidly drives her spear towards Inglis, but to her surprise, Inglis easily dodges them. Inglis punches Sistia and sent her flying inside the building. Realizing how strong she is, Sistia asks Inglis, why is she helping the Highlanders on taking over this land? Inglis is helping Cyrene because she went out of money after overeating, and to compensate for the lack of money she is helping her. Sistia is frustrated over Inglis's sense of justice. She uses her spear to move it through space and hits Inglis. It was so unexpected that Inglis couldn't dodge. But that was the only time Sistia hits her. Because soon, Inglis uses ether to block Sistia's attacks and easily defeats her. Sistia is afraid to get captured because there is a person whom she fears. After defeating the other former knights, Rafina tells Inglis about it. However, using this opportunity, Sistia makes Rafina her hostage. She demands Inglis to free her, then only she'll let go of Rafina. Inglis tells her that she is free. But before Sistia leaves, Inglis tells her that she can fight Inglis whenever she wants, and if lost, she can even leave without any problem. However, if she ever dares to touch Rafina, Inglis will mercilessly destroy her. Later, Cyrene shows her gratitude to Rafina and Inglis for helping her. She takes them to the basement and shows her a magic circle that is absorbing the people's mana. And after reaching its limits, it will float and convert into Highland. However, the people currently living will have to either leave or become Highlander slaves. Because Cyrene is also a Highlander, Rafina asks the reason she is sharing this secret. As a landlord, Cyrene wants good for her people and is even willing to go against the Highlanders. But for that she needs help. After a deep thought, both of them agree to trust and help Cyrene in this war. At night, Cyrene, feeling a bit dizzy, went outside and suddenly turns into a magicite beast. Everyone, including Inglis and Rafina, are alerted and went to check the situation. There, on seeing the mark on the magicite beast, they realize that it is Cyrene. Inglis wonders, who could have given her the prism powder? A woman who earlier served them tea comes out and shows her happiness about Cyrene turning into a magicite beast. Her son was killed by the hands of Highlanders, and to avenge him she took Prim's powder from Steelblood Front and mixed it into Cyrene's tea. Cyrene fires a red beam toward her, resulting in instant death. Inglis tells the guard to escort the people out of the city while they are taking care of Cyrene. Suddenly a spear pierces Cyrene's right shoulder and Sistia makes her appearance. Inglis warns Sistia to not hurt Cyrene. A mysterious man makes his appearance. Inglis is surprised because she couldn't detect his presence. The mysterious man introduces himself as the leader of the Steelblood Front and has no name. He warns Inglis to not interfere in his work and tells her to stay away. Inglis does not want Cyrene to get hurt, so when Sistia tries to attack again, Inglis using ether tries to punch her. But to her surprise the leader blocks it. Never in this life, anyone has blocked Inglis's ether fist. She is excited to know that there are people with this kind of strength. Inglis tells the leader to not attack Cyrene because she has an idea that can save Cyrene. The leader agrees on the condition, Inglis will leave this city, as he wants to cancel the magic circle. Inglis agrees. She converts ether into mana and freezes Cyrene. The leader then uses ether to reduce Cyrene's size so that Inglis can carry her. Inglis is amazed to see another person using ether. Since ether is something received only from gods, she wonders whether the leader is just like her or God himself. The leader tells Inglis that Cyrene will not be able to transform back and will not go on a rampage. As promised, Inglis leaves the city the next day. And we got to see Cyrene's new look after the ice is melted. A sealed prisoner is being kept inside a cathedral. Inglis is very excited to see her first prisoner. She wants to fight it. A guard came in and warns Inglis and Rafina about multiple magicite beasts going rampage in the city. So for their safety, they are required to stay in here. Excited Inglis, ignoring the guard, quickly goes outside to fight them. On her way, Inglis was about to get attacked by a magicite beast. However, a girl with a sword came and defeated the beast. Inglis notices the girl has a high-class rune just like Rafina. The girl warns Inglis to run away because it might get ugly for a person who is runeless. However, soon Inglis shows her strength. Surprised to witness such strength from a runeless, the girl is impressed and introduces herself as Leone Ulfa. Inglis thinks she has heard this name before but cannot recall it. Together they quickly get rid of the remaining magicite beasts. Ranfin also came to help them, and got to know Leone. After seeing the magicite beasts they have defeated, a knight came and for their effort offered them a reward. However, only Rafina and Inglis will get it, because they don't give them to people who are related to traitors. Unknown of the reason, Inglis asks the knight. He tells, this girl is the sister of a former holy knight Leon Ulfa, who betrayed the country and fled. He killed a Highlander and an inspector a few years back. It was then Inglis realizes why she had heard the name before. But it seems the charges imposed on Leon are incorrect. Raphael, who is now 23 years old, heard what the knight was saying about Leone. He tells him to not say anything bad about her and to appreciate her hard work in defeating magicite beasts. Rafina, seeing her brother after such a long time, hugs her very tightly. Inglis also greets him. Seeing how beautifully Inglis has grown, Raphael compliments her. Her colleague, after witnessing for the first time Raphael has ever complimented a girl, starts to tease him. Even though there are plenty of girls who are all over him, he has never complimented them. We got to know Raphael's colleague, Ripple, is a Hyrule menace just like Iris. While eating, Inglis and Rafina tell Raphael about what happened in the city of Nova and about Cyrene. After Leon betrayed the country, Leone decided to become a holy knight to capture him. And for that, just like Inglis and Rafina, she will attend the Royal Knights Academy in the capital city. Everyone witnesses the sealed prisoner being taken away from the cathedral, because they believe the reason so many magicite beasts are attacking this city is because of it. At the capital city, the three of them have arrived and are attending the academy. On the first day, Prince Wing welcomes them and briefs them on how important they are for this country. After the prince, it is Miliera, the principal of the academy, who gives a speech. Inglis notices the principal possesses a special class rune just like Raphael. That means she is strong enough to become a holy knight. Without wasting any time, the principal commences the orientation. With her special class artifact, she creates a gravity field. Everyone is finding it hard to stand still. The principal then spawns 3 beasts. If the students can avoid being tagged for 10 minutes, they will get free food for the whole month. Inglis and Rafina are already hyped up. The principal starts the training. However, in just a few seconds Inglis throws every single beast. The principal is surprised. Thinking it was just a fluke, she tells everyone that this was just a demonstration. And spawns another 3. However, this time also Inglis threw them. Now, the principal is worried. Because if Inglis keeps on throwing them out, the academy will have to give free food to every student. So she goes to Inglis and tells her to not destroy them. And in return, she can have free food for 3 months instead. Inglis agrees, but in return, Rafina and Leone will also get free food. The principal agrees. Soon, every student starts to get thrown out by the beasts, with Inglis being the only remaining one. Everyone alongside the principal is impressed to see a runeless girl being so powerful. After eating the food, Inglis and Rafina are on the way to their rooms. A student is pissed and tells the principal to change her roommate. She cannot spend a single second with a girl whose brother betrayed the country. Rafina is not pleased to hear it against Leone. She and Inglis came to Leone's rescue. They tell the girl that it is not fair to treat the person like this, who saved the city from so many magicite beasts. They tell the principal that Leone will stay in their room from now on. Later at night, Leone gets emotional and thanks them for staying by her side. The next day in the morning, everyone is surprised to see how much Inglis and Rafina are eating. A boy and girl who have just arrived are in shock to see it too. They introduce themselves as Ra T from the Squire's program and Pram from the Knight's program. They are from Alucard, another country. Pram seems a bit jealous because Ra T is talking to them. After breakfast, Margus, their practical instructor, introduces himself and briefs them that today they will be learning to fly the flying gear. He orders everyone to follow him to the flying gear dock. However, he is too fast. Everyone starts running as fast as they can. Inglis thinks it will be boring to just run normally. So she decides to use the gravity field on her, which the principal used yesterday. This way, it will be more challenging for her. Even with it, she easily goes past everyone. Even the instructor. Everyone is in shock. Seeing how fast Inglis is, the instructor is impressed. When they reach the flying gear dock, they get on the flying gear and started following the instructions. After a few minutes, Inglis with Rafina and Leone on her back is easily flying. However, Ra T starts laughing because he is faster than Inglis in flying it. Inglis gets a little pissed and uses magic. With it, she easily gets past him. Inglis tells Ra T that she hates losing. Ra T is impressed to see how beautiful and amazing Inglis is. Margus is just stunned to see how many interesting students have come this time. Pram scolds him for saying some other girl is beautiful instead of her. For the last class, they have a lecture. And after all the classes are done, the principal announces a few students are selected for a special test. They are Rafina, Lizelota, Leone, and Pram from the Knight's program. And Inglis from the Squire program. Every student is impressed because to get selected for a special test, you have to have incredible potential. The principal briefs them, they will be teleported to a special place called the Labyrinth of Trials. There they are required to use their physical and mental strength to complete the test. As the time begins, they all enter the door. Inside it, Inglis sees every magicite beast and person she has fought up till now. But then she starts to see memories of her as a child. And suddenly she starts to see visions of her previous life. Randall, Inglis's heir and the man who was set to inherit the kingdom after her death, approaches Inglis. He suddenly attacks her, however, Inglis easily beats him. Inglis gets bored thinking this is the special test they were talking about. She just blasts through the roof. Up there she meets Lizelota. And understands that every floor leads to every participant. Lizelota is surprised about whether it was even allowed to blast the roof. Since there were no instructions to not do it, Inglis assures her it will be fine. She asks Inglis the reason Rafina is angry with her. Inglis tells her the reason Rafina is angry with you is because of the way you treated Leone. She cannot see the person she adores getting hurt. Lizelota accepts her fault that she went too far and promises to apologize to Leone. Using her gift, Lizelota opens her wings and holding Inglis went to the upper floors. There they see Leone, who is still in her challenge. She is fighting against her family and is trying to take revenge on her brother. However, her father is against it and attacks Leone. Leone freezes, and just before she gets hit, Inglis kicks her father and saves her. Soon her family vanishes. Lizelota apologizes for her rude behavior. Leone forgives her. They make their exit through a door they found while flying. The principal is surprised to see all of them together. Since they were able to come before the time limit, all three of them passes. Rafina also passes. However, Pram is the only one who failed. Lizelota apologizes to Rafina and asks Leone to come back to her room. At night, with all her belongings, Leone goes to her room. They all starts to get along very well. The next day, the principal tells Inglis and Rafina that they are invited to a party at Raphael's request. It is to celebrate the appointment of a new Highlander emissary. Alongside them, Lizelota will be joining because her father, who is the Chancellor, will be present there. And on Lizelota's request, Leone is also invited. In the town in front of the store, everyone is alerted about multiple magicite beasts going on a rampage. By the time they reach, Iris has already defeated all of them. These magicite beasts were demi-human, who came into contact with Prism Flow. Ripple is also a demi-human, but because she is a Hyrule menace, for now, she is fine. A week later, at night, everyone is ready. Seeing how gorgeous Inglis is looking, everyone compliments her. Even she is impressed with the way she looks. Inglis and Rafina haven't eaten anything since morning in the hope they could eat all the delicious food at the party. When they reach there, Raphael greets them. He is mesmerized to see how stunning Inglis is looking. He compliments her. Seeing both of his sisters starving, they immediately go inside. As they were starting to eat, multiple magicite beasts are spawned. Everyone is in shock. As Inglis was about to get hit by one of the beasts, Raphael quickly comes in front of her and with his insane speed, defeats the beasts. Inglis is impressed to see how powerful and fast he has become. Excited, Inglis went up to him and requests him to have a duel later sometime, with no holding back. Raphael didn't want to hurt Inglis but agrees to have a practice fight. Inglis is not very pleased to know that he will not be fighting with his full strength. The principal comes and tells Raphael to help Prince Ween and the Highlander emissary, while the girls are handling the magicite beasts. Everyone gets their artifacts and fights the beasts. Inglis does not want to mess up her dress, so she uses long-range attacks. Everyone is surprised to see easy she is making it look. After checking on her father, Lizelota comes and tells them about Ripple acting weird. When they reach there, they are shocked to see Ripple surrounded by a mysterious magic field. Iris explains that Ripple suddenly went unconscious and got covered in a magic field. And soon after, the magicite beasts were spawned. Prince Ween asks Theodore, the Highlander emissary, whether he knows something about this. He tells that it is a possibility, the hierarchy is involved. We got to know that Ireland is divided into two factions. One is the Grand Duchy, which trades artifacts, flying gear, and other technology with Lowerland. And the second one is the hierarchy. They are against the idea to share their technology with us. Both of the factions send Hyrule menace to every country to maintain the balance of power. And because Ripple is created by the hierarchy, Theodore believes they do not want her anymore and destroying her from within. After knowing Inglis and Rafina's names, Theodore thanks them for saving her little sister. Both of them are surprised to know Cyrene is his sister. Theodore promises to bring her sister back to her original state. But when he tries to take Cyrene, she bites his finger. Cyrene is angry seeing his brother and went back inside Inglis's melons. The principal notifies them about Ripple being awake. Ripple apologizes for what happened. She requests Ween to destroy her in case these things keep happening. Ween refuses because Ripple is very important for this country's defense. Inglis suggests Prince Ween let Ripple stay in the Knights Academy until a cure is found. Raphael disagrees because the academy is in the center of the city. And if the magicite beasts escape, it will be very dangerous. Theodore agrees with Inglis because they're under the principal's protection. Ripple will be safe, and in the academy's laboratory they can find her cure. Prince Ween liked the idea and agrees. The next day in the morning, everyone is training. Everyone is already exhausted. However, Inglis is being herself. Inside the academy, the principal introduces everyone to Theodore and Ripple as their guests. We are introduced to Silva, a third-year student who is the only one to possess a special class rune in the academy. Knowing this, Inglis is excited and wants to fight him. The principal tells everyone that the students present here are specially chosen from each grade. And every team from each grade will take their turns in protecting Ripple for a day. The principal presents everyone with special artifacts which create a barrier around the magicite beast. It is to make sure the damage is at the minimum. When Inglis tries to take one of them, Silva rudely tells her that it is pointless because a runeless squire like her cannot use it. Rafina gets angry, but Inglis calms her down. Silva further adds that they don't need a squire who is just going to be a burden and also a sister of a traitor. After listening to what Silva said, Inglis suggests he have a battle with her so that they have a chance to prove their capabilities. Silva just laughs and tells that there is no need. On the other side, after listening to what Silva said about not needing a squire, Yua, a second-year student, tries to leave because she is also a squire. The principal tells Yua to stay because they need her strength. We got to know that Yua and Silva had a mock battle, in which Yua won. And after it, they both started disliking each other. Ripple, who is suddenly feeling sick, goes unconscious. She is surrounded by the same magic field. And just before the magicite beasts appear, the principal put up a barrier. As the magicite beasts start to spawn, before the third years do anything, Inglis is taking down them easily. The third year couldn't believe how strong and beautiful a runeless squire is. Silva takes out his artifact and shoots the magicite beast. Inglis is excited to see a gun artifact. Rafina tells Yua to not feel bad about what Silva said and help them in defeating the beasts. As Inglis jumps to defeat one, she is surprised to see Yua being faster than her. Even though Inglis is using a gravity field on herself, still Yua is the first one to beat her. Inglis is excited and asks Yua to have a battle after it. Yua doesn't like comparing her strength with another, so she refuses. With the help of Yua and Inglis, in very less time all the magicite beasts are defeated. Later, Ripple asks Inglis to fight her after the principal and Theodore told her to see who would win between them. Inglis couldn't ask for more. She is very happy. Theodore gives Leone a greater artifact. After seeing how much damage the building had received earlier, with this the damage would be 0. As it will create a pocket space. But it is only for Leone because of its compatibility with her rune. A duel between Ripple and Inglis would be a great way to see how effective it is. So Leone uses it. It's a bit difficult at first, but she manages to create it. The match against Ripple and Inglis begins. With all her strength, Inglis comes at Ripple, but all her attacks are being dodged. Ripple steps back and takes out a gun because she is not a close-range fighter. As Ripple shoots her, Inglis deflects it with her ice sword. But accidentally one of the shots went toward Rafina. Fortunately, with the principal's barrier, they are safe. Ripple takes out another gun and starts shooting. Inglis is barely able to dodge it. She deflects the bullets at Ripple. The moment Ripple is out of balance, Inglis charges at her and sent her flying. As Ripple was about to hit the principal, she is stopped by the barrier. However, the barrier is absorbed by her. Finding it strange, Theodore tells Ripple to try to absorb someone else's artifact. However, when she tries to absorb Lizelota's artifact, she is not able to. Theodore then tells the principal to do the same. And surprisingly this time, the mana is absorbed. Theodore concludes that Ripple is designed to absorb only the power of a special rune. And when a certain amount of mana is absorbed, the magicite beasts are spawned. Soon after, Ripple collapses and goes unconscious. She gets surrounded by the magic field. Leone is not able to hold any longer. And as a result, the pocket space vanishes. Just then a massive magicite beast is spawned. Half of the building is destroyed, but still, Inglis is excited to fight it. As the magicite beast is going to blast heat rays, Inglis covers herself in ether and kicks it into the sky. As it was about to land, everyone is freaking out to see Yua below it and tried to warn her. But with ease, Yua chops the beasts in half and continues walking as if nothing happened. Everyone is amazed to see how impressive she is. Ripple wakes up. She apologizes and thanks everyone. Soon, Iris and Raphael come with urgent news. Venefic, their neighboring country, has breached borders. And Prince Ween is ordered to bring back Theodore to the castle for his safety. 2 weeks later, on their way, the principal tells them to come to her room. There she gives Rafina an upgraded artifact with a second gift that Theodore created. Alongside her shiny arrows, the second gift has the ability of healing. Rafina is very happy. Suddenly a huge explosion happens. When everyone reaches the location, their Ripple is unconscious. The third year tells a massive magicite beast was spawned, but they took care of it. However, in the process, Silva was gravely injured after he tried to protect Rati and Pram from the beast's attack. Rafina uses her newly upgraded artifact to heal Silva. Seeing Rafina is having a hard time maintaining it, Inglis helps her by transferring some of her mana to her. The next day, after Silva fully recovered, he thanks both Inglis and Rafina. The principal received a notice from the royal guard that they want Ripple back so they can replace her with a new Hyrule menace. Both Inglis and Rafina are angry and are against the idea. The principal assures them that will go against the royal guard to keep Ripple in this academy. At night, while Leone and Lizelota are on the way, suddenly a magicite beast attacks them. But fortunately, they are saved by a lightning beast. Leone recognizes the lightning beast as the same as his brother. They follow him and are led to an underground room. They are shocked to see the members of Steelblood Front present there. Without holding back, Leone attacks her brother. Lizelota tries to provide some support, however, she is stopped by Sistia. Leone is angry and tells that after their parents died, she is determined to take revenge for the people of Ulman after Leon betrayed them. The leader discloses that Ulman has been offered to the hierarchy by the royal court so that they can fix their broken relations. Leone is in shock and asks the reason for it. The leader explains that it's because the only purpose of Ulman as a place was to monitor the frozen Prismer. And now after the Prismer has been shifted, the place is worthless. The leader reveals that in 4 days the Highlander emissary will come to replace the Hyrule menace. And on that day Steelblood Front will assassinate him. Lee Sayot asks the reason is telling them. Before leaving, the leader tells them to do whatever they want except coming in their way. Before Leon leaves, he praises his sister for becoming stronger and that it made him happy. At the academy, they explained everything to the principal. Inglis comes up with a plan and suggests that she and Rafina will go to the castle as a maid and blend to protect the Highlander. The principal likes the idea and gives her permission. After 4 days, Inglis and Rafina are ready to go. In the castle, while doing the work they are monitoring to find any suspicious activity. King Carius arrives. As well as the Highlander emissary, Lord Ivel. Despite being young, he has attained the level of Archlord. Everyone starts to clap for him. He tells everyone that they are fools, including the king. Just for replacing a defective Hyrule menace, the Highland is receiving Ulman and its resources. He thanks them for being idiots. The king starts laughing and appreciates his wise word along with the audience. The king doesn't want to break the relationship with the Highlands, and that's why swallows Ivel's rude words. However, Rafina doesn't like Ivel's mean attitude. Suddenly, the castle is attacked by multiple magicite beasts. Inglis starts to defeat them. However, she is stunned to see a strange attack used by Ivel on the magicite beast. A guard uses this opportunity and attacks Ivel. But his effort is blocked by Inglis. The guard is an assassin from the Steelblood Front. Ivel again uses the strange magic and splits him in half. Ivel suspects the king is behind this attack. King Carius is in panic and assures that it was the Steelblood Front. Ivel tells that no matter who is behind it, because of the king's incompetence he was attacked. So to repent for it, Ivel detaches King's right arm. The guards get in an offensive position to attack Ivel. However, the king threatens them to not touch the Highlander or he will execute every single one of them. The guards step back. At this point, both Inglis and Rafina are in deep thought. They wonder whether they are doing the right thing in protecting the Highlander or not. With the help of Rafina's healing gift and a bit of support from Inglis, King's arm is completely healed. Ivel does not mind it. However, in return for healing the king's arm, he will take someone else's. So, Inglis offers her arm. Because this way she can closely look at the mysterious power he possesses. As Ivel tries to use his power, he is shocked to see his attack does not affect Inglis. The reason is that Inglis is covering herself in the ether. But she is still amazed to see Ivel damage the outfit. Upon observing, she concludes that Ivel is not using mana. Ivel starts to panic and reveals he is using mana refinement. It increases the purity and efficiency of mana. Pointing at Inglis, he demands her name and the power she is using. Inglis tells him that she is just a part-time maid, who is here to earn some money. Ivel knows Inglis is lying, so he orders her to attack him so that he can know what kind of magic it is. The king tells Inglis to not attack a Highlander no matter how much he forces her to. Ivel shows his frustration towards King. He calls him a fool for trying to become a tail even in this situation. Ivel reveals that he is not here to replace the Hyrule menace or to repair the bond between this country with the Highland. The chief hierarchy is angry about the Steelblood Front. And to deal with it, he has organized this exchange event to set up a trap for them. And just then, outside a massive battleship lands. Ivel knows it's the Steelblood Front and he is ready to take them on. King Carius allows Inglis to attack Ivel after the Highland betrayed them. Inglis is excited and tells Ivel to get prepared. He sets up an invisible barrier around him. The moment Inglis enters it, she will be sliced into pieces. Even though it's invisible, Ivel freaks out to know Inglis can see it. He transfers the barrier's magic onto his arm. But before he does anything, Inglis rushes at him. She rapidly kicks and sent him flying into the sky. King Carius orders the guards and Inglis to attack the Steelblood front and aid the Highland. He cannot let their relationship get any worse. Inglis drags Rafina and climbs up the battleship. Rafina shoots arrows and tries to distract them while Inglis goes to destroy the battleship. Inglis blasts an ether strike. However, she is in shock to see her attack blocked. But when she sees the leader, she understands the reason. While the leader deals with Inglis, he orders his subordinates to keep on attacking the Highland ship and their troops. The leader asks Inglis about the Highlander emissary. Inglis apologizes because she also doesn't know. The leader senses Inglis has grown stronger and compliments her. With no other choice, they fight. During the fight, Inglis witnesses insane speed and strength from the leader. She is in shock when the leader uses an ether sword and ether shield at the same time. Even she cannot do it. Inglis successfully pushes him back and shoots an ether strike. However, it is blocked. Just then Ivel arrives. He is angry about what Inglis did to him. But when he sees the leader of the Steelblood front, he forgot all about it. Inglis warns Ivel that the Steelblood front is after his life and suggests him to stay away. Ivel was waiting for this opportunity and is excited to demonstrate his strength against the leader. Soon Sistia also arrives. The leader converts her into a weapon. Inglis doesn't know how it happened, but she is excited. In the academy, Silva notifies everyone that the troops meant to take away Ripple has gone back to the castle after some explosions. Finding this the right moment, the principal initiates the operation to free Ripple from her disease. Leone opens the pocket space. Silva and the principal start feeding their mana to Ripple. They plan to give enough mana to Ripple so that there are no more magicite beasts to spawn. Soon Ripple goes unconscious and the magicite beasts begin to appear. After a few minutes, Leone is exhausted and the pocket space vanishes. 2 magicite beasts are still remaining. Yua and Lizalota go to attack them, but they are shocked to see them using a beam. Just then, multiple lightning beasts come and attack them. Leon has arrived. He gives a healing tool and with its incredible effect, everyone recovers. Leone is angry and asks the reason he is here. Leon explains that his leader permitted him to protect what is important to him. He assures everyone that he is not here to fight them, but to help them. Even though Leone shows her anger, in reality, she is glad to see her brother back. He asks Leone to bring up the pocket space again. The pocket space opens and now Leon also starts feeding his mana to Ripple. This time a huge blast occurs. And instead of multiple magicite beasts, it's a prismer. Everyone in the battleship sees it from afar. Inglis notices the prismer and desperately wants to fight it. The prismer is gigantic. Rafina is worried to see it spawn near the academy. Even though it's a prismer, leader tells them that it's yet to be completed. Inglis is in a dilemma about whom to fight. Rafina scolds her and tells her to immediately help everyone in the academy. Ivel puts up a barrier around him and rushes toward the leader. However, with the transformed weapon, the leader easily penetrates Ivel's barrier. With multiple hits, Ivel's body starts to vanish and at last, it's gone. Inglis is in shock. With it, the mission is completed. Sistia turns back to her original form, and with leader escapes. Inglis and Rafina use the flying gear and rush toward the academy. In the academy, the principal sets up a barrier. And Yua distracts the prismer, while Leon gathers energy to attack him. Even with Leon's full energy, the prismer is not hurt. Yua also attacks the prismer, however, she starts to suck inside the prismer. The principal surrounds Yua with a barrier to protect her. The prismer blasts a powerful beam at Leon. Even though he blocks it, unfortunately, his armor is of no use. By this time, Yua is completely inside Prismer's body. The principal tells everyone to go inside the pocket space. She and Leon will take the prismer by themselves. The principal puts up a barrier around the prismer to stop him from causing more damage. And Leon takes on him. Ripple wakes up. After knowing the current situation, she tells Leone to undo the pocket space. Leon and the principal are barely holding out. Ripple attacks the prismer. However, it is not very effective. Ripple saves Silva, however, ends up being caught by the prismer. The prismer starts to crush her. Luckily Ripple breaks free from the prismer's grip. But now she is at her limit. The principal paralyzes the prisoner for a few minutes. Silva worries about Ripple. Just like she helped him when he was young, he also wants to protect her. Ripple is amazed to see how much Silva has grown since then. Suddenly, Ripple starts to transform into a weapon. Leon tells her to stop it because Silva is too young to handle. Ripple is confused and explains that it's not her that's doing it. It's because of Silva's will to protect her. Ripple transforms into a gun. Silva can feel incredible power. He is confident enough to beat even a prisoner. The prisoner breaks free from the paralysis and starts to gather all his power into a single beam. Leon tries to stop Silva from using it, but Silva pushes Leon aside. Just before Silva shoots, Inglis breaks the barrier and knocks him out. Ripple comes back to her original form. The barrier starts to vanish because of Inglis. The principal shows her worry and tells Inglis to do something about the prisoner. Inglis kicks the prisoner into the sky. And while the prisoner is falling, he shoots a beam. Luckily Inglis deflects it. The principal tells Inglis about Yua. Inglis rushes to save her. But with incredible strength and speed, the prisoner blocks her attack. The prisoner also attacks. Everyone is surprised to witness Inglis being able to solely take on the prisoner. Everyone supports Inglis. And while the prisoner is distracted, Inglis again kicks him into the sky. And with all her strength uses an ether breaker. The prisoner core is destroyed. And the prisoner is finally defeated. Fortunately, Yua is also safe. After defeating it, Inglis is very hungry. However, she and Rafina are devastated to know that the cafeteria is no more. Several days later, Inglis and Rafina are called up by the king for defeating Evil and drove away the Steel Blood Front. The king makes Inglis the head of the royal guard. Inglis is devastated. Everyone congratulates her. However, she refuses the position. The king is in shock. But despite it, later he treats both of them to the finest cuisine. Consider liking and subscribing this channel if you enjoyed the recap. Have a wonderful day ahead.